fosters economic growth. India's IPO market has thrived, raising rupees 1.62 lakh crore in 2024. Can leverage the growing IPO to diversifying its economy. With focus significant potential for public listings, helping businesses boosting overall economic development.
Mr. Manoj Ravi is the CEO of KLM Axiva Finvest. Yes.
Now the panel is completed. Thank you so much.
Manoj, the next question is to you. And you are actually heading a Kerala-based company. And hopefully sooner than later, we should be looking forward to the IPO of your company. So I'm assuming that you would have gone through or would be going through the process of preparing for an IPO. So my question to you is, what should a company do to prepare for an IPO? And at what stage should a company go for an IPO?
Of course, as the eminent panel said, you should have a proper planning for that. You should have a proper answer. Why should we go for public? That is the main point. See, there are a lot more reasons for IPO. Probably for your business development, expanding to the next arena, probably geographically or otherwise, or to pay back the debts, or for investing into other, subsidiary companies. Many, objectives should be there for a company. You should find out what does your need basically, and what kind of companies can go directly to IPO. As he rightly said, any company, those who have been into the arena for about 3-4 years, they can, of course, very well, find a space in IPOs. So there are myths kind of, the bigger companies can only go for companies. It's not. Even smaller companies can go. We have SME IPOs where even, there is a data which I have seen in 2024, about 3 crores has been actually generated by a company through an IPO. So SME IPOs are for smaller companies, and main board for bigger companies and corporates, where up to a level of 27,000 crores has been garnered by Hyundai, which has recently happened, which was a very highly successful IPO. So any company who was actually intending to have a growth story, they can go for an IPO, and the market is very, very positive for us. If you ask me, in 2024, it was a very, very successful journey for us. So about 91 main board IPOs happened, and they collected about 2 lakh crores from the capital market, which is a big sign, which is three times higher than 2023's saga. So and even analysts, they have a vision that 2025 will be even more lucrative, and there are many more companies are in pipeline for coming out with their own IPO in 2025. So this is time where all the companies, especially there in Kerala, should really look at for becoming public and listed their equities there in the stock exchanges. On preparatory side, there should be a vision, a clear communication to the company that we are going public. So there are a lot of nuances. So when you become public, it's transparent and open. So you should be probably audited by the public, so that your company should be having a strength to cope up with that situation first. Second, you should identify a team for an IPO, where, as she rightly said, we should have a merchant banker to appoint. You should have legal entities. Your auditors should be there. Then such a team, they should drive towards the success of IPO, and they will support to the entire journey. And internally, we should have a proper system in place. Your economic standards, or your all kinds of accounting standards should be pakka enough. You should have a audited balance sheet for a minimum of 3 years. Then your entire process, entire system are intact for handling a post IPO load, probably, which you need to really think of. Then if you appoint a merchant banker, then next is the way which you need to really communicate to the public. So there are road shows you need to plan in order to meet the bigger investors, merchant bankers or analysts, then brokers across pan India. So they need to clearly understand what is your story behind, what is the futuristic story which you can just talk about. These are all things probably a company should really think about. If you have a future to talk, if you have a prosperity to talk, I'm sure that that company can become a very successful IPO owner. Then it is time for listing. For that matter, so you have many other internal things to clear. Then filing DRHP is a very long process. Draft red herring prospectus is the name where, there are a lot of nuances are there. The merchant banker and other entities will support you for, making that DRHP. And after the approval from, the regulator, SEBI, you can go for, your IPO and get listed. By listing your shares, so the objective which you have actually planned will get fulfilled if it is a successful one. After, IPO, post-IPO process should also be, planned in advance, where, your value of shares should continue positive, and, the investors should get a very good valuation even after some point in time, so that you should have a proper mechanism in place to manage your post-IPO also. These are all the planning exercise probably a company should really look at. Pradeep, thank you.